KUSA TV is the NBC affiliate in Denver, Colorado. News photographers at the station have earned a national reputation for consistently high-quality news photography. They've won 3 NPPA Photographer of the Year awards since 1981 and Station of the Year honors 3 times in the 1990s. Director of Photography Manny Sotelo has been instrumental in promoting high standards at the station since he assumed his present position in 1988. He is also an active photographer working on special projects and breaking news stories. He insists on quality work from his staff of 22 and holds himself to those standards. One of the most important aspects of electronic news gathering production is location lighting. Manny is an expert on ENG lighting and has mastered techniques that yield high-quality results with minimum setup time.
Over the years, we've been honored numerous times in various contests for the work that we've done. Lighting plays a very important role in that because it makes you a good all-around photographer. If you know how to edit well, shoot well, and light well, your work is going to stand out. The cameras that are made today are really fantastic. I mean, they shoot under any light situations and levels. The problem is that because they're so good, people are not using their light kits anymore. And if they take the time to set up a light, even if it's just one light, they'll see that it makes the image look so much crisper and cleaner. Around the country, I often hear that photographers don't have the time to set up lights, and I think that's a lame excuse. If you can carry one light in a bag by yourself, or if you have a reporter with you, that reporter can carry the light kit. It doesn't take much time to set up one light. That one light will make the difference in a well-lit interview as opposed to an interview shot off of fluorescence. What I typically carry in a light kit, and in this case it's a low light kit, is a Omni light here that can be used as both a key light and a backlight. And you can use the barn doors too to create those flashes on the back of the wall. It also contains a 1,000 watt total light that you can use to light up an auditorium, or at night use to light up the background of a live shot at nighttime. It contains a gel frame holder that you can put gels on it, but you can also add a second gel on it to soften it up. The kit also comes with an umbrella that you can also use, and it works best with the total because that total puts out so much light. This really cuts down the light coming from that total. Some of the accessories that I have is a small pepper light that's a Fresnel that has a lens in front, but this is great in creating that slash on the back of the wall and also using as a backlight. Some of the other accessories I have is this soft box that creates a great soft light on talking heads, and just this tube that I use to keep the gels from getting crumpled up. It fits great in this soft bag and it doesn't take up much space.
The lazy way to light a location interview is with a sun gun mounted on the camera. While it is often used for shooting breaking news in low light, it is less than ideal for interviews where there is time to create better lighting. Sun gun lighting is very harsh with little or no diffusion, often causing the subject to squint. There is little modeling on the face since the light is mounted directly above the lens. As an alternative, a photographer can carry a compact quartz light in a grip bag along with a gel frame with color control and diffusion material. This will allow the single key light to be moved off the camera axis to create modeling dimensionality on the face. The diffusion material or an umbrella softens the light and usually eliminates the need for a fill light. Manny Sotelo uses an efficient technique for single light setups that utilizes daylight as an accent or backlight. The setup is very simple. The subject is positioned so the daylight acts as an accent to separate the subject from the background. The key light is covered with a blue color correction gel and placed near the camera. In this setup, the videographer may have to light the scene in reverse order, backlight first, then the key light last. The important element with this technique is the use of blue gelling material to shift the 3200 degree Kelvin quartz lights to a 5600 degree Kelvin daylight color balance. An alternative would be to cover the windows with amber gels to balance with the quartz key light, but this is rarely practical for a news shoot. The ideal instrument for this process is an open-faced quartz light with a gel frame attached. A blue gel is clipped to the frame along with a sheet of semi-transparent frost gel or tough spun to soften the light. A dichroic blue filter could be mounted on the light instead of the blue gel, but diffusion material should still be added to avoid blinding the subject. The subject is positioned so that the window light provides the needed hair or backlighting without allowing sunlight to strike the subject directly. The gelled key light is positioned 30 to 45 degrees off the camera axis. Remember to re-white balance the camera with the newly gelled key light. This is a very quick and efficient way to create two-point lighting when there is only one light. Attaching the gel material or filter to the key light is the only extra time needed. Here are some examples of ENG video shot using this technique.
In this particular scene, you'll notice a 250-watt light with a dichroic gel placed in front of it to make the light appear as if it was coming through that window that I closed. Directly behind the young lady, screen right, is a window that's wide open that I used as her backlight to highlight the back of her hair. And then what's important, you need to turn off the overhead lights so that all the light coming into that room is exactly the same. In this particular interview, I used a 250-watt light that I set up screen right with a dichroic gel to match the light that you see coming in from this window right behind her. And I also used that window as my backlight to highlight her hair to separate her from the background. One of the more challenging situations you'll run into is shooting interviews in office buildings, especially high-rises, on sunny days. And what I did here was set up a 1,000-watt light with a dichroic filter that you see right there directly above the reporter's head, shut down the shades just a little bit, which also created that pattern that you see directly behind the subject, and turned off the fluorescent lights so that it looked like all the light that was coming in through the window was lighting the subject.
If time permits, take a lighting kit on location with 2 or 3 instruments in it. This allows adding a backlight if a window is not available and will eliminate the need for color correction gels. Again, the primary consideration is to soften the key light for the best results. Frost gels or tough spun are needed for open-face instruments, or an umbrella reflector can be used. Umbrellas come in many sizes with several types of reflectors. White is an all-purpose fabric. The high reflectivity of silver fabric provides a harder light, and gold material is ideal for subjects with darker skin. Manny often uses a small softbox diffuser for his key light. Softboxes are commonly used in television commercial and motion picture production. It is similar to a scaled-up version of a gel frame with frost diffusion on an open-faced light. Softboxes are also used with special fluorescent sources that are color-balanced for video or film work.
The reason I like to use a softbox is it creates such a soft light on the face of the individual that you see here on my face. The light wraps around my face. When you use a light without diffusion, the light is harsh, the light is hot, and also it makes the person that you're interviewing uncomfortable.
Manny sometimes uses a Lowell Omni as a backlight. Its barn doors are closed to a narrow aperture to prevent light from striking the camera lens and causing flare. Barn doors are essential for flagging areas where light is not desired. A small Fresnel instrument is also very useful as a back or hair light, and Manny carries an LTM pepper light in his kit. These lensed 650-watt lights are very directional, yet provide softer results than open-face instruments of similar wattage. In review, the simple 2-light setup begins with placing the key light on either side of the camera. It should be diffused with frost gels, a soft box, or bounced against an umbrella. The backlight can be an open-faced instrument with the barn doors almost closed to prevent light flare in the lens. A small Fresnel instrument could also be used to achieve a similar result. Finally, a white reflector or a third light can be used to fill in shadows on the subject's face. A good solution for a soft fill is a large white piece of cardboard or foam core that bounces the spill from the key light back toward the subject. This yields a pleasing result with only 2 instruments, the key and the backlight.
This lighting situation looks more complicated than it is. It's a simple 2-light setup with a softbox set up screen right in a position so that it also lights the back of the reporter's head as well as the subject. Because the lady was wearing a gray jacket and the wall was also gray, I set up a second light with a blue gel just to separate her from the background. This particular interview is shot with two lights. The softbox is set up screen right, providing the light on his face, also reflecting off the background that you see there. The backlight is set up screen left, hitting him on the back of the head and on his shoulder and spilling onto a little bit on the side of his face. This particular interview was shot with two lights. The softbox was set up screen left. The backlight was set up screen right. And then I noticed a lamp in another part of the room that I moved and put in the background so that it looks like the backlight is being provided by that lamp.
Quality lighting is the key to instantly improving ENG videography. A lot of time or equipment isn't needed to produce better results, just the willingness to move the light off the camera and soften it. The photographer who cares about image quality must also be willing to bring along the necessary lighting equipment to soften the light and change the color temperature.
At KUSA TV in Denver, we consider lighting as important as editing, as important as gathering sound, and as important as using your tripod. The more tools that you use, just like lighting, the better your video is going to look. And I express to everybody on my staff, if you're near an outlet, set up a light.